right now on Fox 35 News at 6.
Tonight, a young mother killed. Her husband is critically injured after troopers say that a drunk driver slammed into their car. Good evening, I'm Bob Fryer.
I'm Sunny Abada. The crash happened as the couple was heading home from a movie. Fox 35's Holly Bristow has more.
Investigators tell me that the couple was sitting in their car right here at this intersection at a red light when Alejandro Carrea slammed right into the back of him. Troopers tell me that Carrea was so drunk he doesn't even remember the accident. This is what's left of the young couple's Toyota Corolla. The rear end of the car crunched up to the front seat. Troopers say 24-year-old Giselle Batista died on impact. Her husband, Benjamin Frias, is in extremely critical condition. According to investigators, 20-year-old Alejandro Carrea was speeding when he slammed his Dodge Charger into the back of the couple's car, sending it 180 feet past the intersection. And troopers say he was drunk.
20 years old, he should have never had an ounce of alcohol in him.
Investigators say Carrea was so drunk that when they questioned him at the hospital, he didn't remember what happened.
The driver told the trooper he did not even know he'd been involved in a crash. He thought he had actually been stopped by the trooper on a traffic stop.
24-year-old Giselle Batista was killed. Her 30-year-old husband, Benjamin Frias, was in critical condition.
Giselle was my sister. Ben was my brother-in-law. They got married in September 2012. We were 4 sisters. Now we're 3. Ben had 3 brothers, and he was always smiling, making the best out of things. Anything that she wanted him to do, he would.
He was my third one. And he was very close to me from the 4 of them. And he has a lot of plans with his wife and his son. He wanted to buy a house. He wanted to do a lot of things in life, like having his own business and have more children.
She worked at Walgreens, recently graduated for software engineering, and Ben had his real estate license working in sales for Disney. My nephew Emmanuel was born in January 12th. The moment that Emmanuel was born, it was like the happiest time for them. They had a monthly date night that my mother would watch the baby or I would watch the baby. I wasn't here that last Sunday that they were living. On June 3rd, 2013, I was on vacation. To my impression, I was like, well, let me enjoy one last day at the beach.
But that night, I was kind of uncomfortable in my bed. I couldn't sleep, and I didn't know why.
And then the state trooper looks at me and he tells me directly to my face, unfortunately, your sister Giselle Batista was hit by a drunk driver. He was underage, and unfortunately, she did not make it out this accident.
And then in the morning, when I got that call,
my sister's looking on Instagram to kind of see who said happy birthday to her. And as I'm in the water, I look at her to make sure she's okay, and she is like, get out, you need to get out. At that point, I'm thinking, oh, something happened to my dad, because he's sick.
They said that they seen a car accident, that she had passed away. I couldn't believe it. So I started calling her phone, blowing up her phone, like, Giselle, please pick up the phone.
As I'm running to see what's going on, I'm like, man, I hope nothing happens to Giselle and Ben. And she, surely enough, shows me a picture and tell me this is not true. And it was a picture of my sister and it said, "God took another angel. Rest in peace."
Then after that, I went to the hospital and I went to see how Ben was doing because I already lost my sister. So I was like, let me just see how Ben is doing because this is Emmanuel's hope. This is Emmanuel's only parent. And I went to the hospital and I went in a wheelchair because I couldn't even walk because my head was going to explode. I get there and I see everybody there. All his cousins were outside of the door of this hospital in the ICU. And then they were crying. They saw me. They started crying on me.
The nurse told me that there was no way that he will make it because he would brain dead. God granted me that moment to go and to be able to see him for the last time.
My sister died at impact, and Ben died a couple of hours later. He was pronounced brain dead.
You're just involved in the fact that there's two people that are just not in your life anymore when they were just there the day before. You know, and as we're there and we're watching the news and you know, and we learn that it was a drunk driver and the kid gets released from jail and they say, you know, what do you have to say to the families that are grieving for what you did? And he's like, just mumbling, "I'm sorry." And his mother tells him to be quiet.
To find out that he was 20 years old and seeing the news article and him coming out of jail and saying, "I'm so sorry," walking perfectly fine, was like, wow. I guess the innocent people is the one that dies here. Because why not him? He was the one doing something wrong. They weren't.
You know, there are no words to express what that action has done to our family because it's not just impacting the two people that passed away. It's impacting the child that's left without parents for no reason, just because of somebody else's decision.
He started walking at 10 months, giving his first steps at 9. Has about 12 teeth now. When he was 8 months, he was 8 months, 8 teeth. He's in daycare, and my sister wanted him to go to daycare at 1. I respected her wishes, and he just smiles. Like, he'll wake up and touch my face, and it's kind of like, it's 7:30, I'm up, you need to take care of me now. So nobody will replace his parents. I don't know how it is when he gets older and he starts asking me questions on how I can say it and what my response would be, but I guess God will give me the strength. That way he knows why his mother and father passed away of his second or 3 months that they took their first family portrait, and she placed it on top of our family room's television. And if he would see any picture and you would tell him, "Emmanuel, where's mommy?" he would go to the picture and he would point her out. And then we tell him, "Emmanuel, where's papi?" He'll go to the picture and point him out. How did it feel to sing happy birthday to him and not have my sister there? There's no words. To have people that knew her well and I didn't know so well, and to say, "Wow, you guys did an awesome job. This party came out really good." in heaven, your sister is so proud. But what wouldn't I give to have them there? To have them saying happy birthday to their son. My best advice to anybody, not that if you're underage, even worse, but my best advice to anybody is to, if you're gonna drink, find a driver. Call somebody. Because the life you take may not be your own.
You know, as a young adult, I remember the days that my parents would be like, stay home, don't go out, don't drink, you're underage, you shouldn't be drinking. You know, and you do things carelessly, not because you're maliciously trying to hurt, but you're just not thinking of the decision that you're actually making, or you think that's never gonna happen to me. That's never gonna happen to me. I wouldn't get that far. And you just don't know.
So if you're in a party, if you're having fun with friends, have a limit. Have one drink, stay home, just control your drinking. It's not worth it. You're hurting family, you're hurting friends, you're hurting everybody. And it's not worth it.
This is what happens when somebody don't take responsibility for their actions. And when you drink and drive, you don't know what's gonna happen.
And I just want all the young kids to know that the drinking and driving, it kills. And it's not something that he wanted to do. He did not go out to the streets because he wanted to kill 2 people. I feel sorry for him and his family as well.
Think twice. You have so many options. You can call someone, you can call a cab, you can designate who's gonna be the designated driver before you leave, and people think that's stupid, we wanna have fun and we wanna do whatever, but you don't know what that may cause you. Would it be your family member that you're no longer seeing, your mom and dad that have been taken away from you, your brother or sister, your cousin or a friend, or anybody?
It was like part of my heart was gone, and part of my heart is still gone, because nobody in this world will ever replace my little sister.
You changed someone's life. What do you have to say to that family?
I feel awful. I'm very sorry.